Students, in lesson 9.3, we are going to be graphing data. The essential question for this lesson is how can you use a coordinate grid to display data that is collected during an experiment. So for this lesson video, we're actually going to do something unique. I'm going to go ahead and do the share and show problems with you because I'm not able to do the experiment in the video. I want us to do that in class together. So I wanted to take you through some of the problems of where we're going with this lesson and how we want to try to implement it and make sure that we understand the concepts. So this lesson builds on the previous lesson, which was graphing coordinate pairs. But now what we're going to be doing, boys and girls, is we're going to be taking information from a function table where we see there's a relation between the years and the height, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be collecting information from that. So we're going to start here on the share and show, which says graph the data on the coordinate grid. So what it's saying is that we have a title, Ryan's height, and then what we have is we have two parts of the function table, age and years, and if we look at the coordinate grid here, we said that age and years is on the x-axis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that up there just so I'm prompted, so that can help remind me that that information is going to be my x coordinate. And then we see that the height in inches is on the y-axis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down that that is going to be in the y-axis. So our ordered pairs, boys and girls, are always going to be given in the order of x, comma, y. Or in our case, boys and girls, we're going to be doing it for the age, comma, and the height in this first one. So step one, it says write the ordered pairs for each point. So the age is going to be the x coordinates, and the y is going to be, the height is going to be the y coordinates. So our first ordered pair would be x coordinate is 1, y coordinate is 30. So what we're going to do is we're going to write down these ordered pairs, and we're going to separate them with a semicolon. The next ordered pair is going to be parentheses 2, comma, 35, and parentheses. Next ordered pair is going to be 3 on the x, 38 on the y. So it's going to be 3, comma, 38. And then the next one, boys and girls, is going to be 4, comma, 41. And lastly, boys and girls, we are going to have the last ordered pair, which is 5, comma, 44. So now next, what we're going to do is we're going to take our ordered pairs and we're going to graph them. So our first ordered pair, we're starting at 0, 0. It says 1 on the x and then 30 on the y. So right here is where we're going to plot our first point. It's hard to do this with your finger, boys and girls, but you'll be okay, I think, when you do it. The next ordered pair is going to be 2. So we're going to start at the 2, and we're going to go up to 35, which is in between those 2 points. We're going to plot right there where the arrow is pointing. The next one, we're going to go 338. So we're going to go a little bit higher. We're going to go over to 3 and all the way up. Not quite 40, but right before. And then we're going to go to 4 on the x. And then we're going to go all the way up to 41. It's just past 40, right about there. That should be a little bit over to the side. I'm going to redo that one again, boys and girls, for you. This is really hard to do on the iPad. It's probably easier for you to do it. And then lastly, we're going to go over 5, and then we're going to go up to 44, which is going to be right before we're at the 45. So we're going to plot that point right over here. Now, next, boys and girls, it says, why does the ordered pair 3, comma, 38 tell you, what does the ordered pair 3, comma, 38 tell you about Ryan's age and height. So let's look at 3 years old. We know that Ryan was 38 inches tall because the 3 refers to the age and the 38 refers to the height. So what we can say is at 3 years old, comma, Ryan was 38 inches tall. Next, why would the point 6, 42 be nonsense? So now, boys and girls, if we look over here at 5, we know at 5 years old he was 44 inches tall. This point would be nonsense because we know at 6 years old he's going to be taller than he was at 5 years old. He can't shrink. So what we could say is at 6 years old, comma, his height, comma, cannot be less than it was at 5 years old. So that's why that point would be nonsense. So we're going to go on to the next one. And the next one, it says, write the ordered pairs for each. So what I'm going to do, boys and girls, I'm going to ask you to pause the video, and I want you to try to write the ordered pairs. Keep in mind, day is on the x-axis, so I'm going to put a little x there. And then height is on the y-axis, so I'm going to put that there. So the first ordered pair would be 5, 1. Next ordered pair is 10, 3. Next ordered pair would be 15, 8. The next ordered pair would be 20, 12. The next ordered pair would be 25, 16. And the last ordered pair would be 30, 19. So students, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually graph the points that I gave now. And remember, keep in mind that the first value is your x coordinate, and the second value, boys and girls, is your y coordinate. So I'm going to do the first one for you, and then I'm going to ask that you pause the video. Now I know that these are large increments, which is totally fine. Just keep in mind, boys and girls, that just keep in mind that when you do this, because these are incremental, meaning they're in intervals, they're not as frequently. These intervals are, so if this is 30, this would be 30, these are 5, 20. So if you're counting in between, like this is 5 in between here. There's 5 in between here. So in the middle of this, it would be like halfway in between the two of those. So just don't worry and don't stress about that too much as we graph this. So the first one would be at 5, 1. The next one would be at 10, 3. So we go across 10, we go up 3, not 4 yet, quite, but a little bit underneath. Then the next one would be 15, 8. So we go start at the origin, which is 0, 0, go 15 on the x coordinate, and then we go up to 8. We plot the point there. That one should be right on the money. The next one, we go 20 up to 12, right on the dot. The next one, we start at the origin again. Then we go 25, and then we go all the way up to 16 on the dot. And then the last one, we start again at the origin, 0, 0, and we go 30 on the X, and then we go all the way up just right before 20 to plot 19. So now, when we look at our graph, boys and girls, we see that it is kind of making a line. And this question here is just kind of getting you to think like a scientist. It says, how would the ordered pairs be different if the heights of the plants were measured every 6 days for 30 days instead of every 5 days? So what we could say is that we would see that if we waited one more additional day, that the height would be perhaps a little bit larger the more often that you would wait, rather than not measuring them so frequently together. You could also say that there would be 5 ordered pairs instead of 6, and the ordered pairs would measure the heights at 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30 days. So we will be doing the experiment in class. Just keep in mind that we will be graphing ordered pairs tomorrow during class throughout the lesson for 9.3.